Hey, that's what the internet is for.
I thought it was for cat videos.
No, don't you know this song?
Pussy videos.
Also, depending on your proclivity, cat videos can be porn too. Especially if you're furry.
Hello, call out. Thank you.
Hey, I'm furry too apparently, so yeah, I'm calling myself out too.
I'm furry. Yeah. I'm a bunny though. Most of the time.
I was gonna say something and I don't think I will.
Yeah, I think we're ready. Being away when you are prepared.
Oh, shall we beam and Godspeed. Noble Bean, thank you for your valiant sacrifice that we may be blessed with a bountiful harvest of Pathfinder. It's 7 dooms for Sandpoint. Hi, I'm Slappy Meats. This is my channel. You can tell it's my channel because it's got my name all over it. You can just use your eyes. You can see it right there. Oh my god, it's not that hard. Oh, also, we're streaming on Poly Circus because that's our group. It's us. It's us. It's our channel.
I'm not a part of this episode, but, you know, I'm here.
It's done by Succubus, and you're part of Poly Circus. But I am also Celian Monsoon. I'm the Undyne Oracle. I'm the Solsuki magic boy. But I'm also joined by my friends. Oh my god, there's one now. There's Lolo.
Hi, it's me, Lolo, and I'm playing Guano, the old senile elven magus. Nice to meet you.
Blue.
Bleh.
Okay, we've also got Silnico.
Hello, I play Naya, the little fish girl, and I'm feeling more and more like a boiled fish today, but I'm gonna do my best.
That's all we can ever expect. We've got Moonlight Kitsune.
Greetings, all. I play Cinder, the dragon-blooded champion, who's with a lot of anger issues.
Too many gods. Too many gods. And,
Ain't that the truth?
of course, our precious bunny boy. Ah! I hear Lolo music. Hello. You'll get it, baby. We've got our precious bunny boy, Bunny Bee.
Hello, I play Beltroon, your resident brick shit house, and he is currently trying to be as least threatening as possible, if that's even possible for him.
The very gentle beefcake. And of course, bringing us all together, herding the cats, holding this group in contempt? Well, no, I hope not. We have the DM, who is handsome, good smell. I skipped a bunch. Who is magnanimous, magnificent, beneficent, and benevolent, handsome and good smelling, and would surely do nothing but kindness to his party. The Mad Metal Man. I mean, Iron Mog.
Hail, travelers! Welcome back once more. Some hot, fresh out the oven Pathfinder 2nd Edition coming at you. We got 7 dooms for Sandpoint, or is it all this here? One doom. Nualia. Her spirit has been summoned back from the other side. We're having a little bit of a wee conversation. And it's we're not making a lot of headway thus far. Now
Uh,
we're at the start of round 3 of our 10 rounds we're gonna get to try and bring Nawalia around to our way of thinking, to convince her to accept the forgiveness from the town, and possibly even to offer her own forgiveness for all that has transpired, all that's happened to her in her life, all that's happened to the town because of her, through her, by her, for her. We're trying to come to a reconciliation, to finally put the past behind us, bury all that animosity, all that blah, move forward with a healthy, happy, brighter outlook for tomorrow. Right now, our 2 individuals, Odrani and Absolarzantis, are locals. Odrani, not as much a local, but still fairly local, are currently stunned. The power of this ritual has left them useless in this current situation. It was up to just our heroes, who at this point have now convinced the town to back off, to calm down, to let more level heads prevail. So we're going to
Wrong
find out
campaign.
today. Yeah, right.
I was gonna say.
So we're going to find out today if, in fact, that is possible. Is there any hope in Walia's reconciliation and coming around to accepting the past sucked, but maybe we don't have to hold on to that. Maybe we can move on. We'll find out. We're at the start, as I said, of round 3. We've got Guano first and foremost stepping up to the bat. We're in the middle of an influence encounter. It's a little bit different type of encounter, specifically designed for social situations, not combat, that allows some of your skill players to shine a little bit brighter than maybe some of your combat players. So it's a little bit of a different engagement, but still just as meaningful, just as precarious, perhaps, maybe even more so.
It's felt pretty interesting, honestly.
So again, just a quick reminder of the influence system. On each of your turns, you have the option on whether or not you want to try and influence or discover. You either try to influence Nualia with some sort of speech, some little skill check. You've got a few different options. Discover, you can perhaps discover some of the other options to speak with Nualia that might be better skill checks to make, as well as learning other ways to discover things, or just other bits of information, things that she might hold biases against, grudges she might have, weaknesses she might have, indeed, something you could speak on that maybe would touch a deeper part of her than perhaps just surface level conversation. So we've got some more of that going on. Guano, we're going to start here with you. What are you thinking? How are you feeling? What would you like to do?
Well, I thought about a lot of things I wanted to say, and then we skipped a bit, and I forgot all of them. So I'm gonna do a discovery thing, and I'm gonna use society.
Sounds like a plan to me.
On this side, can you remind us what else was discovered in last session?
Absolutely. So you know
It's been
now
a bit while.
your discovery checks are demon lore, society, and perception. Perception being basically the default, a seek check being the default for discovery. For influence, I believe you know that diplomacy, deception, and intimidation are options. I do not believe you found the others that might be options. You know at the moment, as is noted there in chat, that Nawalia still seems to be a little bit bitter. That bitterness, that accusatory tone, just her, no body to speak of, but her body language. She's not really perceptive at the moment. She's not really listening or hearing you. She thinks that you're just here to hurl more accusations, more guilt, more ire at her. So because of that, because of all that's happened, she is just bitter and angry at the moment. You know that bringing up Ezekiel, her previous father figure, had a very negative reaction at first, but then on stopping to actually listen, it had a much more positive impact. So at the moment, your DCs for influence have been reduced.
Okay.
So absolutely, you want to do a society check to discover something? By all means, feel
Yes.
free to make that society check.
Blind?
Make it blind if you can. Yes, please. And again, if you get a critical failure on any of these blind checks, I'll let you know that is a critical failure. I won't let you know if it's like by how much, of course, but I'll let you know that. Therefore, you can choose if you want to use your hero points. And I believe I set everybody back to 2. All right, society check here. Is there anything, I guess, specifically you're trying to learn, Guano? Or do you just want to learn maybe another skill or something?
I want to learn. Well, we learned about a couple things that she didn't want to hear. How about something she wants to hear?
Okay. Let's see. Something that rather than like putting her off might soothe her or make her a little bit more sympathetic. Absolutely. Well, obviously,
Yes.
Condemning Ezekiel's, acts and everything that happened with Ezekiel, you know now that is something that will no longer influence her negatively. So you can definitely make that some use in your arguments. The abyss. The possibilities of what might happen to her soul once she finally gets like past this bitterness that is holding her, is anchoring her there. When Pharasma finally goes to judge her, maybe Pharasma might even be moved if Nualia were have been found to be accepting and forgiving of all that had transpired in her life, that had used that to move on. So reminding her of what might happen to her should she be judged and sent to the abyss is going to maybe make her a little bit more sympathetic to what you might have to say. Keep in mind as well, get this a little bit as well, that for Nualia, well, it's been 17 years for Guano since this all went down. For Nualia, it still feels like it's only been a few weeks to, at most, a few months. So it's still very fresh as far as leaving an impression upon her soul. So considering that point of view, where it's still very fresh, versus where you've had nearly 2 decades to reflect on it, that could be...
No, I think I've had a couple weeks to reflect on that as well. Cause,
that's probably true for Guano, yeah.
And I have a very forgivable face, so that's fine. But yeah, I think I can swing something along the lines of kind of leveraging her afterlife. I think I'm the only one in the party linked to Pharasma.
Question on that.
Maybe we can do something like that.
Is Pharasma a good god or neutral?
It's just true neutral.
Yeah, that's hard to say about Pharasma, because she is just basically literally the judgment of death itself. Like, is that good? Is that bad? Like, she'll tell you, yes, you deserve to die, or no, you didn't, but then still like move your soul along its path. Is that good or bad? That's, it's up to the individual, in the eye of the beholder, very much. Just as far as neutrality and someone who only sticks to, this is my job, I'm going to do it no matter what, that is Pharasma.
Yeah, there's only one situation when she's not neutral, is if you're undead. Then she's like, fuck that.
Because the undead are seen as a insult to the cycle of life and death and spirits moving on. So Pharasma considers that just completely spitting in the face of everything she's trying to do in helping the dead move on by bringing them back.
Okay, sorry. I'm just wondering because with that information we just got, I've got an idea now, just for something to try. But
No, absolutely.
I want,
and I would say for sure the two, voices you've got in your head, warring back and forth, like Dahak doesn't hate her, probably just respects her very much. Like this isn't a goddess that you would really ever find yourself opposed to. You either are scared of her and avoid her, or you respect her and avoid her.
Fair. I was more like, oh hey, just as a heads up, it's like, oh hey, Opsu wants to help this new Alia. Maybe
Absolutely.
I can use that as a first.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking about the little alignments. I needed to know because it's like, which god do I use here?
And it would be something
That's a
Apsu
good
would
thing.
be very much interested in, is helping Nualia, helping Pharasma, helping the spirit to move on. Like, because that's very good.
Yeah, that's
Because
like,
if I try it and it makes me roll with religion, I have a lot better of a chance than any charisma check.
All right.
yeah.
So, you've done the discovery, you found that out. Celian, what would you like to do?
You kind of said the magic words with Demon Lore.
Mm-hmm.
Ceiling is more or less shot to shot about the sympathy and empathy and relating to Nualia's circumstances. I think I want to do discovery with Demon Lore.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll that demon lore check. And again, make sure it's blind. And I think you can do that off of just either recall knowledge, or you can just roll the demon lore off of your character sheet. Because any lores you have should show up on the recall knowledge when you're rolling. Okay. And was there anything you were trying to learn specifically? Or is this, are you trying to learn maybe a influence skill? I will let you know there are 2 influence skills left that you could use to possibly roll to influence her that you don't know yet.
What about athletics?
Yeah, let me do that. My only 0.
So yeah, is there something you'd like to know specifically? So I will let you know that is a success so far, at least.
Yay. I suppose just it's kind of a mystery to me. Like whatever I don't know and I don't know in this case regarding demon lore. What would demon lore tell me? What is it with a demonic bend that would allow me to? I guess influence. Yeah, sure. What would help me influence?
Well, the reason demon lore works with Nualia is because she made a deal with a demon lord at one point for help in getting her revenge. That's what
And
gave
dope
her
armor.
her monstrous hand and helped push her further along the path of this very dark, evil choices she made to then finally come and burn Sandpoint in the ground. So because of that, that knowledge, you get a little bit of insight into Walia. So in this case, you know that as far as influence, a society check could work. While definitely Nualia had the worst of it and did turn to demonology and all this, life in Sandpoint did have some good points. This is honestly overall a good town full of good people. They made some poor choices, they did some not kind things, and it led to some very bad situations. But this is not a demon haven. This is not a place where demonic energies and peoples and influence is normal. So, sure, demon influenced her, but there were also some good points in Sandpoint. You know, it wasn't all just demons and evil and death here.
So it can appeal to her sense of like the people who there are people who don't deserve the wrath. People
Yes.
who deserve forgiveness.
Yes.
There are good people here.
Yes, 100%. A society check. That will be the lowest DC for influencing her.
Okay.
Lowest DC or lowest DC so far?
It
Yeah.
is the lowest DC. When you do a discovery and you find out the influence skills, you learn the lowest DC first, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. As
Ah,
many,
gotcha.
however, there are. Knowing, of course, that diplomacy, deception, intimidation are always going to be options for influence.
So my understanding of demon lore
Yeah.
allowed me to suss out how much of her being has been pushed by demonic nature,
Yeah,
and how much can be reached by appealing to her humanity.
yeah, 100%.
Okay. Okay.
Appeal to her humanity.
Can I-
still. Good.
Can I do a roll call real quick then? What's everybody's society bonus?
0.
I'm
0.
at a 0 as well.
8.
Okay, so I got the biggest society bonus at 9.
How in the blue hell does Guano have the best society of the group?
Because it's a Migas, int is his main stat, and society is a hint stat.
And it's trained, and also nobility flashbacks. So okay. So maybe, yeah, I kind of like the idea of like doing a full round of discovery, and then I guess I can handle the appeal to the good-natured people of Sandpoint, and we can figure out more later. I don't know. You
Well, it
guys
sounds like it'd be
pick how you.
between you and Slappy both, because he's pretty high as well.
All right, Celine learned a little bit. Cinder, what would you like to do? Would you like to try and influence Nualia, or do you want to try and discover something?
I like the idea of doing a full round of discovery, and then Nualia plays, and she's like, for 6 seconds, nobody speaks, and she's like, where did everybody stop?
Yeah, just gives you the sus eyes.
Yeah, I was about to ask if that would give us any problems.
The fuck you looking at?
I want to do a discovery on religion.
It's not one of them.
What was that?
Not one of the options, I think.
So the default options that you've discovered are demon lore, society, or perception. Now, if you
okay.
can give me a good reason that you could discover something with religion, by all means, I may let you roll it, because maybe you were right. Maybe that is a good idea.
She is the daughter of a god, and from what my notes have here, none of us know which god she's actually connected to. If I can somehow get a hold of that information through something, her connection, my connection to the gods, either way, it might help influence of, hey, why didn't they help you? Why wasn't they here? Weren't your divine parent, whichever part of the pantheon it is, and help, influence them with that.
Okay. To clarify, she is not a child of divinity. She is an Asimar. That means that her creation had divine influence. She has celestial energy, basically, from the heavens in her.
Okay. Sorry, I'm thinking.
Yeah, she's an Empyrean.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
Asimars 5e.
Okay.
Sorry, that was what my thought process was there. I was thinking 5e, and I thought Asimar was the same thing, where they had a divine parent that screwed around somewhere. My mistake.
Asimar's still the same. Asimar's still, it's both.
Yeah, it's more just divine influence rather than direct descendant of gods.
Basically, Asimas
Can I help make? Can I help make Cinder's case for religion?
Now, I will say, Cinder's not wrong. I in fact think, personally, that religion should be amongst the discovery skills, because this is an individual that grew up in Sandpoint's cathedral, that was influenced heavily by Sandpoint's clergy, by the
Superstitions.
Temple of Desna that is here, by the overall sense of religious fervor that surrounded her as an obvious Aasimar as she grew up, along with the demonic influence. The religions of the world definitely also work to counter the demons of the world. You know, they're very much opposing forces. So I will absolutely allow a religion check for a discovery check. By all means, feel free to roll a religion. Make sure it's blind.
Also, on this side, I would say, especially with Pharasma, that would be good for religion checks.
Yeah. When I made this idea, I was thinking, I think it's how the Dungeons and Dragons does Aasimar, which is they are a god saying, "Hey, this child is now my child," or something like that. It's been a while since I've looked at. Yeah.
It's
No,
the same in Pathfinder. It's much like tieflings. It's like there's infernal or celestial influences.
Tieflings are from infernal descent. Asimas are celestial descent, but it's
Okay.
not necessarily specifically first generation.
So with your discovery, are you trying to discover anything specific? Is there anything you wanted to know? You trying to learn another influence skill? What are you trying to do with your check, your discovery? What are you trying to discover?
I guess I'm trying to figure out how she would react to her heritage being brought up, her being an Aasimar, if that would be a good place to, for want of a better word, attack her to calm her down. Because we all know the demon she went to worship, but where was the original source of her power? Is that a way to calm her down, to help make it easier for us? Am I making sense?
Okay. So for that, I'll let you know. Another influence skill is religion. So I feel like it should be on both anyway. So religion can be used to roll an influence check with her. Again, bringing up, what's going to happen to her when she gets the abyss, and Pharasma's judged her. Talking about, her lineage. You were an Aasimar. You were meant for better things. You weren't meant to be like hateful, evil, angry all the time. Maybe let that have a chance kind of situation. So you can use religion absolutely to influence.
Good, because it's like my best stat besides intimidation.
And so, with that, I will let you know you have now found all of the influence skills. The lowest DC amongst them is society. The next is religion, then diplomacy, then deception. And the highest DC, the hardest one, is intimidation. And keep that in mind, because Beltherin, I believe, even got a successful influence check with intimidation.
Be calm, we said.
I mean, he's our fucking death machine monk. He should be good at intimidation.
But with a successful discovery, Beltherin, what would you like to do? Do you want to do discovery? Do you want to try and influence her? What are you thinking? How is Beltherin feeling?
Beltherin wants to really kind of see what she is really kind of reacting to different triggers in her mind, kind of finding the ones that kind of get to her sympathies more than really trying to push towards her he in his last two turns he's really kind of shown weakness towards her to kind of not be threatening.
Okay.
And he is trying to play on her sympathies, so to speak. So he's trying to kind of pay attention to what she reacts well to, what she is her kind of her weaknesses, if anything.
Okay.
So he
you're trying to
kinda
do a
wants to-
discovery?
Yep, with perception, if anything.
Absolutely.
So
Go ahead and make
just
that
kind
seek
of-
check.
Yep. Blind, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe seek check should be automatically blind. All right. So again, her weaknesses, the things that are gonna really like get to her, get to the core of her, reminding her of the parts of Sandpoint that were good. Not everything here is the worst. Reminding her that she doesn't want to go to the abyss. She wants to try and if she can save her soul from damnation before she's judged.
Okay.
Condemn what Ezekiel did. Those are the things
Yeah.
that she probably would resonate most with. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I mean, it just seems like she's just needing a. Yep. But yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Naya, again, would you like to discover, or would you like to try and influence?
Okay, before I make my decision, is there much left for us to discover, or are we good, or should we just move on straight to trying to influence? I'm
As
asking
far
this.
as
I'm asking this in the context of Lolo's plan to try to just discover as much as possible.
As far as useful discoverability situation things at this point, you have discovered all the discovery checks that can work. You have discovered all the influence checks that can work. The only things at this point you can really discover would be perhaps how influenced I guess she is, how much like success you have earned. As far as anything else, I don't believe there is really any more useful information. You know about her background, you know what sympathy she has, you know what seems to like get her panties in a twist, basically. And just looking at her, she's this beautiful woman. She's got long silver hair, she's got glowing violet eyes, a heavily scarred abdomen, and her entire left arm is very demonic, and it ends in like a frightening tower hand. Like you know about Noelle at this point.
Yeah, so unless it was something very specific, there's not much left for us to discover.
Correct.
Alright, so definitely gonna try to influence her. Just give me a minute, I wanna get in my head what I'm gonna say.
And then what kind of skill check are you trying to make?
Definitely diplomacy. Okay, no, real quick. What were the skills? They were, society...
Religion, diplomacy, deception, intimidation. In that order.
And the DCs.
The DCs start low, get high.
Yeah, okay. I got a plus 6 of them, so I'm definitely better going for diplomacy than for religion or anything like that, right?
Okay. That does fit, yeah, the math, yeah.
Okay, just let's check. It's definitely gonna be diplomacy then.
Then by all means, say what you got to say, and then roll a diplomacy check. Make sure it's blind, or you can roll a check first and say what you got to say.
Okay. Just I'm gonna try and say it right. Not stumble on my words. Well, yeah. It has been a long time since your time now. The town has moved on. Scars have healed now. And we brought you here to try and help you heal too. But if there is anything I can offer, anything I can do, or anything I can help with to share your burden, let us know. We are here for you, not against you, but to help you. And that's gonna be it. Blind?
Yep. Go ahead and make that diplomacy check. Make sure it's blind.
Please tell me it's not a one.
It is not a 1.
Oh god.
No, you did not critically fail or anything.
Good.
Nuwali, after everyone has taken like a moment, it seems to like pause, think, study her. Naya speaks, and Nuwali turns full attention toward Naya, her eyes narrowing. She's very suspicious, very. You see a little bit of like almost despair in her look. You're wasting your time. It doesn't matter. I'm already dead. What is that going to change? What is forgiveness going to offer? What is helping me going to do now? Absolve yourself? Come to terms with your own guilt, then I will have no part of it. Come! What other horrible accusations? What other terrible things might you all possibly have to say to me? Go on.
All right.
Hopefully,
Let's give a shot to that. Let's give a shot to that society influencing.
Okay.
Okay, let me think a second. Nualia. Do you remember what you said to me at this old top? You called me the most stubborn old coot you'd ever laid eyes upon. Well, I'm here to prove you're right. There are good folk in Sandpoint, Nualia. Folk who never wished you harm, and whom I'm sure, under different circumstances, you would have gotten along fine with. Of these folks, and all who know your story now, all of them share the regrets of your mistreatment. And a lot of them believe in the redemption of your soul. You should hear them out, hear those voices outside. There is no place in such a gentle town for such suffering. Let's all come to terms with this tragic affair as best we can. And as far as guilt is concerned, mine was heavy, but it's a burden I will bear for the sake of those who come after. Okay, that's the speech.
Roll that society check. Make sure you're blind. As Nualia turns her gaze onto Guano, there's a moment, just this flickering Guano, where it seems like she finally does recognize you. But her eyes just like disbelief, because It's only been a few months. How could this old man be the same? Before finally she seems to like shake her head a little bit, brush it off, and brows furrow again. You remember Chopper? Yes? Chopper. Before me. But the same. We were early dooms that came to Sandpoint. I warn you, man, the worst is yet to come. Ceiling.
Influence.
Absolutely.
Can't tell if it was a success or not.
We have peace in this place. Relatively speaking, now. I was not there 17 years ago, as this one was. But I do know the face of bigotry, of the superstition that foments fear and worship both. The reverence and the contempt that comes from the ignorance and prejudice that people can hold in their hearts. But nothing shines light on that ignorance to wash it away like truth. Like educating those who would know better as to what's real. As it says, there are good people here now. There were good people here before. They were led astray for what they did not know. For the truth that was held from them. With this, with what we have now, speaking with you now, that is what we seek. It is the truth, so that we may cure, we may heal the harm done here in this place, to and from you. But the truth can let these good people be good. I have come to know them, and I see the good that shines in them. I have faced bigotry myself. So have so many others. None so bad as you. But would we could prevent that? And here's our first step. Forgiveness. And absolution both.
Go ahead and make that check. That is currently a critical failure if you would like to reroll.
Sure would.
Let's hope that's better.
Well, Mog didn't say it was a crit failure, so it's
If
gotta
you-
be a little better.
If you roll two ones, you have to tell us.
Yeah. If you roll two ones, I will tell you. I would probably even just reveal the roll judge.
Yeah, because the government rules have kind of screwed us a few times in the past.
She pauses as she observes Celian. Silent as Celian speaks. Expression softens just the littlest bit. Some of that bitterness, some of that accusatory, like demeanor fades away. And instead of like a spiteful curse, now when she speaks, this simply tinged with sadness. I told you the worst is yet to come. When Sandpoint burns, everyone will finally feel the pain I felt during those last years of my life. finally all know what brought me here to this point. Maybe then you can really tell me why I should forgive or be forgiven. But I will. She holds a gaze with Celian for a moment, looking just directly into his eyes, as her eyes, to you, Celian, seem to sparkle with starlight for just the briefest moment. There are 7 dooms in Sandpoint's future. And she looks for a moment as if she might say something else, but does not. Cinder.
Okay then, here we go. I'm going to be trying an influence.
Absolutely.
You ask, what is there for you to be forgiven for? Wow, my words just tied up. Give me a second here. I just tied my tongue in a knot.
Yep, roll it back, try it again.
Smooth.
You shut up. You've asked, what is there for you to forgive now that you are dead? What about the Pharasma and her judgment of you? About what will happen after that judgment? I can't say much for what comes, or for the fear of death, or anything else like that. But what I can do is, if you will help us by accepting the forgiveness that is being given to you by us here, by the town, by the idiot priest over there who refused to listen to advice of don't do this, I can beseech my God to help you, to make an appeal to Pharasma, to help you rest easier, to not suffer as much. But I can't do that if you won't help yourself.
Go ahead and make your religion check. Make sure it's blind.
Make it also intimidation and deception.
Well, I make an intimidation, but it's like opposite of the one I'm talking about. You have to help yourself. I can help people, but they have to help themselves.
Yep. Option's got a very chill aspect of, look, if you ain't gonna help yourself, I can't help you.
Yeah.
How to pick yourself up first. Very cool. Anyway.
Please be good. Please be good.
She seems to regard Cinder for a moment. Her expression at this time, like the furrowed brow, those narrowed accusatory eyes are gone. Now she is softened. Her anger seems to just almost be fading away a little bit. Instead, being replaced by sorrow. With a heavy sigh, she seems even more like her spirit, being as incorporeal below the waist as it is, like been floating in the air, it seems to just sag a little bit lower. She suddenly seems to be almost sorrowful. Her face turns from a scowl to a deeply concerned frown. I'm so sorry. Honestly, the people of Sandpoint did me themselves a world of favor. They killed me. I was no help to anyone. I was just anger. Just bitter. Just a burden. They did me a favor, killing me for the 7 true dooms. Are going fortunately to be able to finish. It was begun so long ago. Even if I am forgiven, there's too much hate in my heart I can't forgive those who pushed me down this path that led me here. She like lifts her demonic hand and gives it like a disgusted grimace. Like, all those who taunted, tormented me. I was just a doomed individual. A poor, useless, worthless soul. And their children. Those who today are the ones in charge, the generation that has grown up. Those are the ones that were the worst of it. More than anything. They tormented me. They doomed me to become this. And now, their children today are doomed. She just shakes her head sadly. Belthorn.
Wow. I don't even know how Belthorn would even react to this, to be quite honest. He doesn't want to give in to his own rage and try and intimidate her to back down even further, and fear that he's going to anger her and just feel like it's pushing her away. He knows that he really wants to kind of push her into the. He wants to. Not I guess it is kind of intimidation, but he doesn't want it to be. He wants to push towards her good side, if anything. I don't know exactly how to explain it. He wants to really kind of like kind of scold her for thinking that everybody was against her. Everybody just hated her. And he just wants to have that almost a I don't know, almost like a fatherly kind of anger at her, like you don't need. They were that he doesn't want that they didn't know. They were trying to push. They were kids at the time. We all have our simple, for lack of a better term, prejudices that we have when we first start growing and pushing for to learn our ways through life. I don't know how else to really explain it.
Okay. No. I get it. Yeah. Following along. Perfect. Absolutely.
So.
Now, is intimidation your like of the set of 5 possibilities for influence? Is intimidation your honest best bet for getting it? Like your highest bonus? Anything else is so low that you're going to need like a roll of 20 on the die to even get a success, kind of thing? Is that your best bet?
You said it was society, religion, diplomacy, intimidation. What was the fourth one? Or the fifth?
Deception is between is after diplomacy and between and before intimidation.
Correct.
Yeah.
Intimidation is the fifth one. Deception is the one you're missing.
Yeah. Everything. I mean, everything else I have is either a negative.
Mm-hmm.
And other than my intimidation is by far my highest, with religion being close. With religion being the next closest, which is 5 points down.
Okay. So what's your actual bonus to religion?
2.
Okay, so you got a plus 2, and then you got the actual plus 7 in intimidation.
Yes.
So then intimidation is definitely just math-wise is probably your best bet. Now, just because you're using intimidation does not mean you're being hostile and attacking her. like you put it very well. As you're trying to be a like admonishing dad figure. Like you're not worthless. Don't talk like that. That kind of stuff. So intimidation is very much that. Like when you think about it, anytime you get scolded by your parents, it's intimidating. You know, they're not trying to bully you. They're trying to teach you. You hope they're not trying to bully you. You hope they're trying to teach you lessons that you will carry forward in life.
It's
like that. Yeah.
It's like,
so
hey, don't talk like that.
Right. You use the mom voice on, you know, and that's where you're like, oh shit. That's absolutely intimidation. Using the parent voice, that's an intimidation check. Think about it. So by all means, feel free to make the intimidation check. Don't feel like that means you're attacking or being hostile. By all means. It's certainly not the kindest or most friendly way to earn influence, but it makes sense, especially for Belgium. Being a bouncer, being, probably someone who's had to take care of more than a few drunks who were fine people normally. They just got a little bit too drunk, a little bit too out of hand, and you had to, punish them, scold them for it. By all means, roll that intimidation check. Make sure it's blind. Go for it.
There you go.
She frowns a little bit deeper as Beltran speaks and tries to get their point across. But she doesn't react much. She seems a little bit almost like withdraw a little bit more. Let's just go more internal. Naya.
I was just about to ask, can I re-roll?
You can re-roll if you feel that is a failure.
I'm gonna wait until
By all means. After a moment, she finally just offers a very curt nod. It seems to like avert her gaze away from Beltran. Seems maybe a little bit of that got through after she stopped sulking.
We don't have a curtain in the party. Is she nodding at?
Ernest.
At Beltran, she was nodding curtly. Naya, what would you like to do?
I know what I'm gonna do, but this is gonna reveal something about Naya asking. I'm not discussed with you prior, but it sure makes sense given what else you know about Naya.
Okay, go ahead.
Now we'll look at Naya and say, whether you forgive those who hurt you or not, it's not for us to tell you or decide for you. But when we get hurt, we grow bitter, and it drags us down. We all need friends sometimes, friends who know when catastrophe will come true. And at that point, Naya is going to undo the sash that holds her together and letting the rope slide to the ground, really keeping the wrap around the waist and the chest bindings, revealing massive scars all over her arms, her sides, her front, and her back, all hidden by the rope. Old, very old scars, but as if massive chunks of flesh have been cut or ripped out. And she's going to step forward. We all suffer, but we must learn to let suffering go. You've had the time. It's time to let go. You shouldn't suffer anymore. If I can take even a bit of suffering, so that you may finally be at peace. Then I'm glad to do so. You said we have 7 dooms to face. Then we shall face them. Use our lives, our dooms to face. But let us relieve you of yours. Please. You don't need to suffer anymore. And I'm going to roll diplomacy on that.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make a check. Make sure it's blind.
That's good.
No, for just a very pregnant pause.
And just to add, as she gets close, she just stretches out her hand for Noelia to take.
She seems to shy away from the hand a little bit, but she regards Naya for a long moment. The critical success.
Oh my!
Naya seems to have really gotten through to Noelia. Sadness has fully replaced her anger. She sags more. Hanging her head, she shakes it solemnly, looking up, and it seems as if moisture has trickled down her cheeks. But of course, you haven't seen the tears fall. It is a bitter salve, receiving forgiveness for those who have never wronged me directly. Each of you, I implore you, seek me out, the land of the dead. Once the pit disgorges 7 dooms upon all of you and Sandpoint. Then, and only then perhaps, will I be ready to consider forgiving those who did ruin my life. For at that point, we'll have the wisdom of the far side of the grave at last. We'll truly, finally, be able to relate to every aspect that I've existed through. You notice, this is all of you, that she seems to be becoming more and more ephemeral, as if she's fading away. Full of sorrow, sagging sadly. She turns to each of you in turn. I leave you before I go with this. Not all who have plagued Sandpoint lie still, and new enemies work in the shadows. I do not wish these 7 dooms upon Sandpoint, but there is one who does, and that one hearkens on red wings. Unless you can delve the pit in time, you will not escape his fires. There's a single choked sob as she completely fades from her vision.
Painless, we shall face the dooms for you.
Absalar and Odrani, suddenly, now that the ritual, it seems, has come to a conclusion. The spirits, the dancing, whatever they were, the moonlight flitting around the courtyard fade away. Till there's nothing but silence in the courtyard. As Absalar and Adrani take soft breaths, catching their breath from the ritual, Absalar looks up, as does Adrani. Well, how did it go?
It went about as well as we had any right to expect.
Maya's going to slowly putter around the corner while singing in Thalassic a song about sorrow and grieving.
She left not as angry as she was. I think she forgave those that haven't wronged her, but she still harbors resentment towards those that actually properly harmed her.
Her anger did subside. Her sorrow is deep and hard to navigate. She has there was a glimmer of hope for her forgiveness to be given, but this would have to wait until the prevention of a great danger. She warned us of 7 dooms headed this way.
In a sort of semi-catatonic Celian holding on to the sorrow in the air, the empathetic sense of sorrow. Tears starting to stream down her face. I can show you exactly. And we'll step over to Absalar and use the mentalist staff to cast Mind Link. And basically just give Absalar the perspective of the entire encounter from Celian's position.
At the end of it, a tear rolls down Absalar's cheek as he nods. It was ambitious of me to hope she would simply forgive. But that she is at least open to it. Granted, on the other side of the graveyard's wall, this is the best, perhaps, that we may have been possible. Thank you, all of you.
It went well, in other words. Yes. Overwhelming, but well.
Absalar not.
She has a lot of grief in her, but her anger still is there. It just needs to be tempered, I believe.
These are not the kind of wounds that heal quickly. But hopefully, the time the realm of the dead will help her now. Hopefully we planted the seed of recovery.
Absalar nods. I'm eager to go over more of the ramifications of what she had to say, and what is taking place here. But I am weary. Adrani, across from him, nods slowly, looking a little bit like herself, like she's leaning heavily on the staff. I think it's best for tonight to get some rest. We can meet again in the morning. Discuss more of what was divulged
Cinder at that frowns as she remembers something that she overheard while she was doing the patrols and does the whole between what's going on, the warning we just got, and it's like, huh. I want to check something real quick. But feel free to go rest. I shouldn't be long.
Shall we meet at the Rusty Dragon as usual?
I believe I'll be mildly out of source. I have thoughts to process.
Okay, I do have... Okay, I do still have the Everlight Crystal. Good.
I could use a little breather myself. At least calm myself.
Maybe a copious amount of tea should help.
That sounds nice. Sure.
Belthrin puts a hand on Cillian's shoulder as they walk. Good.
Thank you. You as well.
So,
Alright, Cinder, what are you up to?
just a remind. She was reminded and everything of the rumor of the scratching under the east side, and I'm assuming that this is well, for the record, I have the Everlight Crystal on me, so I've got that out so I can see.
The trapdoors, no. The trapdoors go to like storage rooms and basement.
Yeah. Well, it was just a case of I wanted to look down because Cinder had the thought of, wait, did I just make the same mistake several of my enemies made back when I was a tyrant, and completely ignored the scratching in the walls, and suddenly there's going to be a kobold with a dagger in your back, or in this case, a goblin or something. And so she was just going to take a quick glance down just to make sure that she covered her tracks, or covered her bases, basically.
By all means, go ahead and make a check.
Yeah.
It does not seem as if there's any trouble, any ne'er-do-wells, anything going on in any of the basement storage or any of the basement sleeping areas.
Okay. Next question. Did the remains stay with Father... I just blinked his name. Of course I did.
The remains are remaining in his protection, yes.
Yeah. I want to stay nearby just in case we don't want anything happening to those remains.
Okay. Yeah, by all means, if you want to take a room down below, you are more than welcome to sleep here.
Can I joke and say, who said anything about a room down below? I'm staying as close to where the remains are as possible.
By all means, yeah. Just if you want a nice comfy bed, there's bed provided.
Nope. I'll stick close to the father and the remains. Just for want of a better term, Cinder's past as evil is just like, there is something else going on here. I need to... If I turn my back, that's when everything's going to go wrong.
Okay. And the rest of the party? Everybody returning to the Rusty Dragon except for Cinder?
I'll just be going to the shore, finding somewhere just offshore enough to disturb anything while I sing, and then probably be sleeping on the ocean floor for tonight.
Okay.
Also, can I just say, getting that crit, that natural crit on that reroll? That was cruel.
That was very
Making it very personal.
Yeah, that was very. That was like perfect timing, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and you got Cinder doing the whole, oh crap, she's like me. Shit.
In fact, that was very cool. I'm gonna give you a hero point for that.
Ceiling will return to Rust Dragon as well. When they get there, they'll go from the window of their room and try to scramble up from the balcony onto the roof and be under the stars with a book. They might need some help from Moana to get up on the roof. They're very clumsy. And they will gladly take tea.
Naya just sneaks into the docks that are near the church, and from there goes into the water to swim to the shores.
Beltran will kind of at the whole encounter, he's just kind of, his mind is just kind of swimming in different, all the different emotions and whatnot, and he kind of just, as a response, just kind of helps around the Rusty Dragon like he has been the last week, just
Works it off.
just kind of works. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and he just kind of helps finish out the night with the workers and the Rusty Dragon before he calls it a night himself.
Grano just chain drinks tea while grumbling to himself.
What kind?
Black tea
Oh.
with a dash of milk.
Oh, black and white tea?
Do you have any herbal?
And herbs.
I could do something soothing. If you have any.
Wait a second. I believe I saw some linden trees outside. I think maybe we could get you some extract. Nice relaxing.
Thank you. If it's too much trouble, don't worry about it. I'm sure the rest of the team can accommodate.
It's no trouble at all. No. It's just like dogs. They bark, and so does the tree.
I see. Very well. Thank you. Tilly will just lie back on the roof, having stacked up some chairs to just wedge himself up on the roof and just lie on the back, book open on the chest, and just look up at the stars and breathe deep and try and digest all that happened and how the proclamation of seven dooms niggles at his visions of catastrophe and tries to find his center in the nebulae.
It was strange. I heard someone in the distance say roll credits.
For a moment, Celian. Cosmos responds. The town burns around you. The heavens a deep crimson as something falls from the sky. Shaking yourself from it. It seems it was nothing more than a bad dream, perhaps.
The sky looks just blue and white and black in the night. He plucks a star from the sky and plants a light on the smokestack behind him. Opens up the book and reads some soothing fantasy stories.
Yeah, it's not a bad book. They got some cool stories in there.
Yay. It's about a closed-hearted rogue who finds love.
What does that term mean? Fanboy?
It's a thing. Just a type of character. I didn't see you come up.
I got your extract.
Thank you.
There you go. Careful, it is hot. Alright. Well, have a good night, Celia. I'm gonna turn in as well.
After all that black tea?
I process things very fast.
Alright. Thank you.
Old-timer metabolism, they call it.
I guess I was there. I'll take your word for it. Thank you, Bruno. Sleep well.
He ain't born yet, the one who'll see me slow down. He ain't born yet.
Well, just have to rest. I'll see you in the morrow.
You get the same kind of grumbling things on the way out.
Yeah. Ceiling blushing that his reading material was clogged. Sips of tea. Finishes the tea and eventually heads to bed. Keeps the images of the book in mind and tries to force out the cataclysmic doom prophecies. To get some rest.
Everybody go ahead and make sure you complete a rest.
How did charges work on staves and stuff?
We prepare them at daily preparation.
So yeah, click on the daily preparation, then you can use your little coffee mug there. The way it works is you gain charges equal to the highest rank spell slot you can cast. So if you've got level 3 spells, you gain 3 charges. You can then sacrifice spells. Basically, consume a spell slot to give yourself more charges equal to the rank of spell slot you sacrificed. So if you start with 3, sacrifice a level 2 spell, you'll have 5 charges on it.
Sick.
And it actually shows up on the character sheet. Where is the mutable shit? Yeah, so on the spell casting tab, where you've got the known spells, rituals, and activations, if you go to your activations, you'll see your spell staff has 2 charges.
Cool.
Right. Fairly early the next morning. It's like just barely after sunrise. All of you at the Rusty Dragon receive a messenger. The acolyte who stood watch last night to make sure no more unruly mobs showed up looks haggard. Like this person hasn't really had sleep, but is here to collect you all. Apparently, Absalar wants to speak with all of you as soon as possible. He says he will meet you in the same place at the cathedral, in the veranda there.
Of course.
Come on.
Suddenly, I'm glad Cinder isn't there because she'd be taking a swing at Guano right now.
At that response, Beltrin kind of gets up and he heads downstairs and goes and gets like a little bit of a to-go meal for them to eat. Enough for everybody. So, how much would that cost?
It's included in the price of the room.
20 million.
No, 20 million. There we go. No. You basically pay for the room, you get dinner and breakfast.
Actually, can I roll a survival check to see if I can catch a nice fish on my way to
If
that?
you would like to subsist on the wild, that should be, I think.
Survival? And I put some macros?
It is on the downtime tab of the basic action macros. You can roll a subsistence check.
Yep.
And you can choose whether you do a society or survival. I assume you're going to do survival.
Yeah, survival.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to do a subsistence check, feel free.
Celine gets a blueberry muffin and an Earl Grey tea.
Nice. I like that it shows that you used assurance. And I didn't realize assurance was a fortune effect. That means
I didn't know
that. Hero point those or reroll them in any way. Very cool.
Well, yeah, to be fair, like, what am I gonna roll? Another 10?
I mean, yeah, right?
I just realized I forgot something.
No, that was interesting and cool to learn.
So yeah, she just catches some fish on the way back to the dock as she wakes up. Or breakfast.
You've gone this long without your shirt? How dare?
I don't know if anyone will go out and see that they're being summoned.
Beltrin will be walking by the docks and see Naya fishing off in the distance.
Not fishing, because she'll have got it on the water, on the way to the dock. But yeah, you can see her sitting at the dock, just eating her snack.
He'll kind of walk up behind her and just kind of pat her on the shoulder. As she's munching, and like the church has summoned us again after last night.
Oh, good. I'll be right over then. Shall we go?
Let's go.
Mouthful of muffin.
The party does make it back to the cathedral. The acolyte huffing along, and she's like,
Both of them just kind of gnawing on a turkey like they grab on his way out.
Stop she will gesture towards the actual veranda that they're actually on.
Yeah, don't work on your standing enough.
Where you can see she nods. It does seem that she's not, used to normally having run all over Sandpoint every day. But yeah, they seem to be looking at the courtyard through like the wall into the garden area.
Good morning to you.
Yeah. For the record, when the party shows up, they will find Cinder doing like basic maintenance, sharpening her sword, checking her weapons to make sure they're not about to break, the armor's in good condition. Just, standard stuff.
Hello, Cinder. Had a good night?
It was long, but nothing happened, so yes.
I did say nothing happened is... a strange summary of last night.
How about nothing happened after you all left? That makes more sense. As she stands up, sheathing her sword on her back.
That works.
Abstar, looking a little bit more haggard, perhaps, than you might have expected. Last night seems to have rattled them, especially after the mindless sealing where they learned everything. Slowly turns back towards everyone. Everybody a friendly nod and greeting. Warning, sorry to bring you all here this early, but I believe the sooner we address everything we discovered, everything that was said, better. Now, first and foremost, I want you to be calm, feel assuaged. While his remains are being prepared, shall be once more interred in the ground. We're going to move her actual grave from the entrance that it is now to a ghoul warren to a different spot, where hopefully the ground is sound and no one else will disturb her.
Well, sure. As well as you look, then perhaps even though it isn't a Desna's ritual, you could cremate the remains of the well.
Or at the very least,
Hesitate. Go ahead.
or at the very least, not make her grave apparently known, maybe at the very least.
He almost seems to like consider for a moment as regards Guano. There is wisdom in those words. Could cremate her remains and perhaps scatter her in the hope that she finds more peaceful rest, and then there will be less inclination for those who would do ill to seek out said remains. But without consent from her or next of kin, I don't want to do any more to the earthly remains of this poor woman as absolutely necessary. I simply want to put her back at rest. But it had been considered.
Have you had moments in the meantime to consider what was said of these 7 dooms that approach us evidently?
He nods.
I've had visions of a godfall to come, and I fear these coincided too closely to be coincidence.
Round was that. First, Guano, you wished a conversation with Odrani as part of...
Did I? Oh, yes, absolutely.
As part of recompense for your assistance. She is still willing, of course, to have that conversation with you. And you look over, you see Odrani, who is currently dressed for travel once more. She is planning to leave soon. So, after our discussion here, perhaps you two might step aside to have your own conversation before she leaves. Odrani nods. I intend to continue my journey further up the coast, and I plan to stay there, at least for the rest of the season. If you wish to talk before I leave one, please make sure to pull me aside and do so. Otherwise, perhaps I'll catch you back on the way south after the season changes.
I might look like it, but you shall not leave me in the dust.
She smiles at that. And regardless, if you do ever wish to seek me out, I do plan to at least be in Roderick's Cove for some time after this. If you leave Sandpoint and I don't see you again, you can always look for me there. But please, Absalom. She gestures back towards him. He nods his appreciation. The 7 dooms that Nualia mentioned. That has been weighing heavily on my mind. She seemed convinced of something about to threaten the town, dooming even the children here today because of events of the past. All of it is distressing, all of it is confusing. But when we start to put it together, along with the other information we've all collected and brought forth. For instance, knowing that Ripnugget is still alive. It brings to light some of the things she said might be... They might hold weight. And this might be something we should look into.
I do not intend on living that. Letting that little shit live, no matter what form it takes.
Absolutely not.
And given the fact that from what we've learned, he was trying to get Nualia's remains to make her his servant, I don't think we should let him leave, even if we had a choice.
I do appreciate that. Nualia also mentioned the pit, which supposedly is where Ripnugget has made their way to. She's implied the dooms will be coming out of said pit. And that we must discover something about... He shakes his head. What do you all think about these?
I think...
The
Well-
rides on wings of red.
Well, Noria mentioned that if we don't delve there in time, that she's doing that this would be where the first of the 7 dooms would likely come from, I think. So I think we should probably make our way there as soon as possible to just clear the place out.
If you want my opinion, are there 7 dooms coming to Sandpoint? Probably, yes. My estimate is more like 700. It is simply the nature of time. Given enough time, shit will happen.
Oh,
But a good thing is we are here now. And so we can deal with that particular thing. Which is why I think, Absalom, you should not lose any sleep over it.
Actually, I want you to ask your opinion of that as well. 7 dooms. The number is significant.
Oh, please, have you ever seen anything in this world that didn't include 7? These fuckers are everywhere.
Exactly. It is a important, specifically, particularly important number amongst ancient Thessalon. 7,
Right.
7 points of the star, 7
Seven rune
sins,
lords.
7 rune lords.
Look at the stones around your yard.
He nods. He had, in fact, just been looking at that. There may be 7 in a circle, but luckily, we're offset because there are 8 total. The one in the center does still count. So while this does include 7 in some fashion, it is not a collection of 7 stones. It is 8. The coincidence there is less concerning to me than some of the things, perhaps, that Nawalia might have mentioned.
There's a good thing about the star Epsilon. And that good thing is that it is shattered.
To my knowledge, only 2 survive, right?
Nevertheless,
Who knows? There have been rumors, ever present. 2, 3, maybe all 7.
above the table, did we ever tell the priest about the elf plume that we found?
Not with any specificity.
That's
I did speak with an expert on the subject, who mentioned an association about the Hellfire Forge, Hellstorm, toilet, with the crumbling tower in the city.
What Epsilon knows with regards to that is you definitely found Thessalonian ruins and potentially a broken Thessalonian weapon. That he does believe is a concern, which is why he directed Celian to speak to the local expert on Thessalon.
And did we mention the Rune Lord statue?
I do not believe the Rune Lord statue has been mentioned specifically.
It was documented.
Okay.
It's on the map.
It was on the map and it was documented? Then okay, yes. Yeah.
Okay, that I would just...
Okay.
Yeah, and the figure we got
or whatever the fuck it was.
and the figure we got the weapon from was a lasnest.
Well, given there was Thessalonian runes right on the Nwalia's grave, and that said runes held a Rune Lord statue, it could be the Rune Lords are involved in all this. One doom for each Rune Lord.
Even Noelia regarded herself as an early Doom herself, and one known as Chopper.
Earth might still have remained here, and 6 others are out there.
Estimating the nature of things with closed eyes will leave you with burnt fingers.
Oh, absolutely. For now, he gave us hints as quickly as to go and wherever Nugget is. I believe this is where we might get more information.
I suspect another source of information as well. To speak of burnt fingers. High Priest, what would you be able to tell me about the crumbled tower, the ruins in the city?
Absalar will actually turn and gaze towards Guano.
Don't look at me. This is one of the few things in this place that are older than me.
Wasn't sure if perhaps you had heard about it or knew about it.
I have vague memories of going under the tower, but this was a while ago. And it's all Thessalonian anyway.
Those ruins are in fact Thessalonian in nature. And my guess would be that the ruins you discovered are, at least in some way, thematically connected to them. It was believed to be a weapon of some sort, and was thought to be, at one point or another, used against Sandpoint. But as you can see, is in no sort of working order, at least at the moment.
Do you feel that it is connected to the area of great danger in the room we discovered?
Yeah. Oh, no, that's, you mentioned... Oh, Ronnie, you mentioned Roderick's Grove, that's where you stay, yes.
That is where I live normally, yes.
It's on the map we found. There's another such device there.
She looks mildly concerned at that and they exchange a glance. But she nods.
I suppose since we're bringing it up, right. I produced the ancient map. And
The two of them look it over. They nod as they point at a few things. Discuss. For Absalar steps in. Celian, have you shared this with the local expert that I sent you to?
This map, I have not. I have spoken of the device, but I haven't shown the map.
He nods, seeming like he almost appreciates your caution in that matter. If you feel that you can trust this individual, I would share this with them. They may have further insights, perhaps. But he starts pointing at the different things. The biggest concern. He sighs heavily. Lays the map out. And he starts like gesturing. Like he's gone more now into like he's almost monologuing. Like he's got a little diatribe going. Sandpoint, the whole coast, this whole region. Once, long ago, was one of the major regions of Old Thessalon. As you can see, had installations all throughout the area. The hinterlands themselves supposedly built upon this ancient empire's graveyard.
Of course it is.
Sandpoint itself, granted every one of the cities along the coast through this region, Roderick's Cove, Sandpoint, they've all had their problem with Sandpoint's almost been almost uniquely plagued. There's been devastating fires, pattern killers going on rampages, goblin raids, an attack by stone giants, a red dragon, a strange, an unnatural sinkhole that opened up in the middle of the upper town. He gestures that direction. The sinkhole was part of what destroyed the lighthouse. And not one, but two tsunamis that not for the town's own fortuitous topography and the surroundings here could have been devastating, could have wrecked everything. The town was lucky. However, it has been constantly plagued by these issues. At this point, I've learned to recognize the early signs of peril. Nualia's unsettling proclamations last night. I'm convinced at this point there's some larger, quite dire plot brewing. And I think it's at the heart of the pit. Southeast of the town, out in the wilderness.
Well, then, I believe we shall be heading there soon, and perform the sack called the double tap. Make sure the goblins are dead this time.
Screw tapping on them. I'm just gonna rip their heads off.
And I will admit this to all freely, to my friend Andrani here, to all of you who have helped me thus far. Nualia's words, though I didn't hear them directly, hearing them they were delivered to Celian, I've realized she's right. Sandpoint failed her. And I, in my heart of hearts, I'm afraid that the same elements the town that set into motion everything that happened to her 17 years ago have only festered and have manifested now as something worse. We've been trying to treat the symptoms while the disease runs rampant. Please. I know I have already asked quite a lot in exchange for what seems now an ill reward. Foot in the door, a way to speak. The city loses. But please, if you could.
Oh, you do not have to convince me, Absalar. Whoever said my heroic days were behind me did not get my vote into account.
You're doing better than I am, Wano. My adventure days are far behind me now, but I would be grateful for your help. Travel to the pit if you can, investigate the site. Determine if there's any truth to the claims of the ghoul that you spoke with, that Rip Nugget has taken up residence there. See if there's any truth to more dooms coming from the pit as Wally claims. Keep an eye out for any other dangers. Something else might be building towards a disastrous head, a confrontation this town could leave it sundered.
Knowing how these things go, I believe it is more than likely that something bad is headed our way. But Absalar, lack of sleep will not help you deal with it.
I do need a little rest, perhaps. Maybe I have been pushing myself too hard. But it will help ease my mind, help me get that rest, knowing you are here to help. As well, I'll be here at the cathedral to provide any healing that you might need, free of charge, whatever your return.
Very good.
I will see to it that the vision I have seen, if there is anything that can prevent them coming to pass, we will strive to ensure we succeed.
Both my gods want me here to deal with something. So I'm going to step up and deal with and just to take care of this.
I will not leave my friends alone, and I will offer my aid as necessary.
My time will come back to go back to my travels, but for now, I'd rather not leave things unfinished here.
It is early yet. If our mutual friend, the expert, that's an expert, is awake already, I should see to inquiring with him about the map as soon as possibly can, for whatever valuable insights we might have going forward.
Absolutely not. We'll take the map, roll it back up, and return it to you. Again, I leave it to you to decide whether or not you trust well enough to share the information here. But I do believe it would be worth it.
I think the specialist has dug deeply enough into the matter that they can be trusted.
Snorted a quick laugh, almost like derisive. Abslar nods at that. Honestly, yes. Broderick has probably already sussed out all the information this map may actually hold. Maybe old news.
Old news to him. New news to me. Shall we hope? I will head this straight away, and I will lead the rest of the dragon. Then.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Good morning. And farewell, Johnny, if I don't see you again. Thank you for everything you've done.
She'll smile softly at Celia and offer a bow of her head. Before she once more stands up straight.
Would like to spare conversation with you as well. You seem to be quite a learned scholar, and it's always a pleasure. But I believe that pleasure is over now. Farewell. And he'll scurry away.
Yes. Rest well, friends. I will join you soon. I do wish to reminisce with the dear lady.
Well then, we saw it at the tavern.
I shall meet you there.
I do need to make a small little stop elsewhere, but I will make it there. He heads out.
By all means. If anybody has anything they want to do as far as conducting business in town, this is your opportunity. Guano. If you would like to speak with Adrani, now is your chance.
Yes.
If I may, just before Cinder leaves, Cinder's gonna look at Xantus and it's like, while we're gone, be careful. I've heard rumors spread by your own acolytes of something scratching underneath the east. I believe we've already taken care of it, but from personal experience, do not let your guard down with that. All it takes is one misstep. And if we're taking care of the Dooms, we're not going to be here to help take care of you.
Abslar frowns for a moment as he considers that. I do not believe this is a situation where we should simply assume things are one way or another. I would be appreciative as well if you and your friends would perhaps take another look around, see if you can make it further underground, and just double check to make sure you have, in fact, managed to get all. And he just kind of like trails off in gestures, like around.
Yeah. I will speak to them about this. Because, yeah. Cinder casts another glance around. With all this happening, I don't wish to... Yes. Leave loose ends if I can. And with that, Cinder will walk off and leave Guano to his conversation.
Okay.
Always the optimist, this one. Well, Absalom, it has been a pleasure. My lady, if you would abscond with this old man, I'd be eternally grateful.
She will nod and move to follow you.
Dang. I don't know. Where
Where did you leave your things? Perhaps we'll just have our conversation there. Leave you ready to go right after.
She laughs softly and gestures towards the backpack she's carrying and the other things. I have everything already.
Very well. Well, then let's just find ourselves a seat. Here. It's been quite a long time since I've met one of my kind. It always brings back this vague sense of nostalgia. I believe you can relate. I mean, you're nowhere near as old as I am, but I can tell you've been around a little while.
She nods a little bit, like tilting her head at that. She does seem to only be a couple hundred years old.
Yes, half my age.
She was in fact born in 4554.
Sweet.
We are currently in 4724.
Yeah.
So she's just shy of 200. No, I don't believe I am quite as old as you are. But
You know.
and she just lets that hang.
Fair enough. You know, documentation has been lost a long time ago, and none of them have ever been able to tell me. I don't know how old I am either. I've heard some of them say 450, but I don't know. I leave that to their speculations. Now tell me, you've been in Roderick's Cove, yes, quite a while.
Did I have? I found that I've grown quite fond of humans.
Oh yes, humans are... They have their strange ways, but I find them very endearing. They have this propensity of adapting to new things a lot better than we old kin do.
She nods at that. Despite their relatively short lifespans, they do seem like they really just live as much of it as they can.
Maybe that's what it takes. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe living closer to death as they do makes their life that much more manageable.
Make a good point there. And it's entirely possible. For a long time, as much as I was fond of humans spending time around them, their short lifespans brought me to despair. I'm sure you know this too, but it hurt to have to say goodbye to friends so often.
Oh, yes.
It's actually what led me to Ushava. This was back when I lived in Magnamar. And joined a cult of Ushava. I wanted to help. Any difficulties that any of the humans had in death, the afterlife.
I see.
I wanted to offer some assistance, if I could.
then I believe we took a different approach to the issue. And I came to worship Pharasma in my travels. I don't remember when or how it started, but I believe it was to deal with just that issue you mentioned. Losing people is something that happens. It is part of a very natural cycle, and its inevitability, I believe, can be a source of reassurance for us.
Pharasma actually has been a guiding light and a comfort in times when things were difficult. I joined the group in worshiping and aiding in Shava, but my faith was for a time shattered, and I wandered most of the Risia in search of any sort of redemption, rekindling of my faith, something to hope for and hold on to again. Ironically, it wasn't that long ago. And I was, in fact, spending my time as a groundskeeper for a priest of Pharasma in Roderick's Cove at the time. But some remarkable individuals changed my life, gave me that hope I've been searching for. We defeated Rune Lord Alazist. She seems to like wander for a moment and she does some quick math. 5 or 6 years ago, yes? Something like that? As a result, she smiles. My faith is restored. And I once more now travel, not wander, but travel. Practicing and fulfilling the tenets of Ashava. Anywhere I can go. That's... She gestures around the cathedral. That's why I came here for this. This is something helping Nualia to move on, to no longer be lost. She is... I thought that was something that was so perfect for Shava.
Well, that is good, and it is good news indeed that you have overcome wrath itself. And it makes me wonder sometimes the reason for our incredible longevity. I think perhaps purpose is what dictates its length. And I'm glad you have found yours. Make sure, however, that you can pursue it without regret. I have not talked about it with my comrades, but sometimes when we are crawling in the underground of a dungeon or other places as such, I am back there, back in that place, back in those tunnels with the children at my back, putting my sword in the bellies of people I used to call brother. Those kind of things stay with you no matter how gone your memory goes.
At the mention of like regret and all that, you see her almost like flinch. There's definitely something that seems that she does feel guilt, feel regret for. She nods. I have, thankfully, in helping to defeat Alaznis as I did, restoring my faith, I have found a way to live with the guilt and the truth of what I have done in the past, and where I have lost my way. Duty, direction, a reason to keep getting up and going on. I do believe that you are correct. That having those things is a large part of what we, she gestures to specifically like the two of you. Because I believe Guano was specifically a forlorn elf as well. Descended from those that were left behind on Galarian during Rainfall.
The Janine elf, but yes, forlorn.
Those of us who have remained since and before Earthfall, I think it's a very large part of us and our journey on Galarian. In fact, I've often wondered, and this is of many of the other mortal races, such as the humans that have the shorter lifespans. Do you think that part of their... She frowns for a moment, she's searching for a word. She knows what she wants to say, but she doesn't want to say it because it seems rude. Finally, she's just... Part of their problem is that they haven't realized that they need to find direction and a reason to get up because their lives are so short. They're worried about it ending before they can even worry about finding one.
Oh, yes. But it is, I believe, that urgency that makes them so very efficient at finding a goal of their own.
She hesitates before she gives a little smile and a nod. I think that's a good way to put it.
Those I cannot help but worry for are the descendants of the union of those humans and our long-gone kin. They have gone through trouble, and there is trouble yet to come. But I, as always, will keep on protecting those undeserving of this agony. Well, my dear Eldrani, I believe this elder has held your tongue for quite long enough. Thank you for indulging me.
She smiles, pausing for a moment. Tell me, Guano, do you still have family?
Possibly. I'm sorry to say that if descendants survive me, I have forgotten them long ago.
That seems to sadden her a little bit. One corner of her mouth turns downward. Family is important, Guano. And if you have some, I hope you can find them one day. Holding them, keeping them near at heart. Keeping that connection to our past is where we came from. I think that's important to a person. And losing it.
I appreciate your concern, Johnny, but I like to believe that those children I helped escape, even though I forgot the context of it and the location. Those are the family I seeded across the land, and that all of their descendants, all of those half-elves, are cherished descendants of my good deeds. That is the family I seek to protect.
That is a good way to think of it. Thank you, Wano. It is rare I get to speak with anyone so openly and candidly about. And she kind of just gestures like at herself and at you, like elf things.
It would be my pleasure to do it again, should I make it to our next encounter. It has been a pleasure, dear child. I wish you safe travel.
She'll stand up from the bench, gather her things. Step out into the aisle, turn, offer Guano a deep bow of respect.
No. Return, very respectful nod. Because bowing, it presents the risk of never getting up.
Good luck, and be safe. Whatever it is you do next, whether you head to the pit, or whether you head simply straight to Magma.
And a safe journey to you as well.
If you find yourself in Roderick's Cove, look me up. I'll
Would not miss it for the world.
She'll start making her way out, nodding at Absalar. She heads out.
Children. And eventually, Gwendolyn will make his way out as well, and just join everybody else at the tavern.
All right. After meeting with Absalar, having that little conversation, Celian, I believe you were heading to hang out with Robbie.
Yeah.
Broderick's again, he's at home, he is tired of going through all of his papers, documents, scrolls. Sees you walk in, and a little bit of a smile as he fixes his glasses, wipes ink off of one hand.
Sir. I hope it's not too early for a caller.
No, of course not. I've been up for hours. You know how it is at this age.
I don't, but I do understand the academic pursuits and the enthusiasm for it.
Well, let me tell you this. You piss a lot.
Oh, I suppose I have to look forward to eventually.
Don't I know it?
I had a rather stimulating conversation with Absalar about what we spoke of before. Perhaps less fortuitous of a conversation than I had hoped. He pointed towards certain patterns of natural disasters that lead to put it mildly, devastation. I actually have some more records that I might want to pass on to your nose here.
Oh?
I have a map that was recovered from the desolate ruins that illustrates matters of ill fortune, to say the least.
And I'll present the ancient map and unfurl it and basically give them the lowdown of what Absalar indicated. The natural disasters, the ill portent that they describe.
He switches from the glasses he's got to another pair that seem to be even thicker, possibly even older. Sprawls the map out. It's like on top of like this stack of all this other stuff. Quite remarkable indeed. Let's see here we have. Yes, you see here the coastline, at least as it was or as it is sort of the rasp. No, yes, Sandpoint. HF compound, I suppose that's simple enough. Right. And then these other spots that's here. And he looks at one of them for a moment and he... Wait. Miss. Yes. In fact, I can confirm. Further study of the ruins at Thistletop. That was at one point or another Rune Lord Karzo had a towering Sentinel statue there. Interesting. This I hadn't seen before. The pit, as we call it, we haven't looked into it much. Of course, it's weird. It has monsters and strangeness, and it's not pleasant. But it is luckily far enough outside of town, and we don't worry about it. But this map indicates that there might be something of interest there. This note. Can you read Thessalonian?
I'll cast translate. I can now?
I didn't need you to translate it for me. I was going to translate it for you, but by all means.
First hand is always best in my experience.
Yes, this note scrawled on the map. Captured spies, sizable Shalash cohort, station units. That's interesting of note. Shalash cohort, station in it. Led by someone named Liar LaRue. And he wished to translate. He used to get authorization from Miss. I assume this is let's see, this would have been, and he consult some more notes. Yes, this was Jasker. This would have been Mistress. Would have been the ruler of Aslat. Yes. Interesting. He wished to do a raid on the pit.
Does coincide with the heraldry, the statue that they found that's slowly ruins beneath the city.
I suppose again, it's not. Just look at this map. It's not a surprise. Most of this area, hinterlands around Sandpoint and all that, was Thessalonian in one form or another. Rune Lords had spots everywhere for this, that, the other thing, of course. And it's just more proof of that. The pit, I've not seen much about pit or this Leon LaRue before. We'll say, though, Leon LaRue, this is not the first time I have seen it, but I have not seen it often.
What does that mean? A person of interest or an artifact? A stronghold?
It does seem to be an individual, at least of some interest. At least two of the Rune Lords themselves. Several of them had mention here or there in passing of a Leon LaRue to watch. This is the first time I've seen it associated with an actual installation, as this seems to suggest.
Look at the pit. Let us certainly worthy of further investigation.
It could be worth looking into. I suppose we could give you. I could give you what I have, or help you out looking into the pit, or I believe you wanted to look more at the focus as well.
Oh, mercy. Well, do you know if the focus could be activated again? Would there be some way of preventing such an occurrence, as it would be catastrophic?
Preventing? Possibly. I would believe that, after all, this is by all assumptions, it's Thessalonian work. There's certainly got to be something we can do with it. I would say the best bet for that, as far as preventing it from erupting, would be to figure out how to just control it in the first place. Once we figure that out, then we may know if there's a way to shut it down permanently, or at least to perhaps prevent it from doing worse later.
Perhaps. My fear, of course, would be that knowledge would get into the wrong hands, but I am always of the mind that the knowledge in the correct hands would prevent its misuse.
Broader nods. If you want to look any more into the focus, I'd be willing to help you again, of course. 5 silver for the assistance and going through all the research notes and seeing what I can help you figure out by conjecture. The same for the pit.
A pit is really, no pun intended. But I think it would be worth looking into. Well, I can give you to consider the focus yourself. I think it would be worthy for any resident of Sandpoint with it such a sleeping artifact right beneath your feet to look into it on your own. The pit, I would use your assistance, yes, of course. Here, right away. I'll hand in 5 silver immediately.
Absolutely. So this is another, I guess, side quest you can call it, you drag it that way. You've been investigating the focus, now you can also investigate the pit in much the same manner.
Certainly do so for the remainder of the day before I go and meet up with the folks of the Rusty Dragon and then decide our next moves.
Absolutely. Let's see here. You've got, of course, all your academia lores, your library lores, you do just like a simple perception, like seek check for this, as well as like go through and peruse everything. I will, of course, roll a check for Broader as well, as far as aiding you.
I use the recall knowledge because, you get a lot to choose from there, because...
Yeah, exactly right.
My Seek is a +8, my recall knowledges are better. Particularly with occultism, but some of them are...
Like how the only one on this list you're actually not trained in medicine.
Yeah.
I mean, why would he? He asked me for that?
Exactly! Again, I only noticed. See,
it does
anatomy, but not from medical terms.
It does seem, however, that the two of you looking into the pit are not able to come across a lot of information. There's probably information available, but none of like the resources that he's like, well, we should check this, we should check this, we should look here. None of them seem to be paying off as far as getting more information. There'll be like very tertiary like mentions of installations or other things in the pit itself, but nothing really solid, nothing really helps, unfortunately.
Demon lore.
It seems we've run a little dry on resources of documentation. I suppose first-hand research would be necessary. I'll speak to the rest of my party and see what they think about it.
He nods a little bit, and then as he's like writing down some notes, like different books that he might next time check, or that he might suggest to you to look into to learn more. As he's doing this, and I'll get this list together. This may help you later. It's not going to be finished at the moment, but you know, the pit is a bit of a local staple. Those of us at Sandpoint, we've known about its existence for some time. It's just always been a thing. You could honestly, your friends that wanted could ask around, see if they can possibly gather some information about the pit that maybe some locals will know. As much as I know about Thessalonians and old Thessalon and the things they were doing in the area, just simple local knowledge may be helpful.
I'll find out. Thank you for your assistance. It's always a pleasure to work with a fellow intellectual.
Absolutely. And now again, if you need any further assistance, you'll know where I am.
You have my gratitude. But
Do you want the map back?
Absolutely, yes.
Do you have any copies of this specific map?
I can make one.
If you don't mind, I'd keep the map for now, make a copy of it, and give it back to you when you return.
Oh, that works. Sure.
Thank you. That's much appreciated. Very kind. I'll make sure to do exactly such.
Very good. But for now, time limit is away from everyone researching. I need food.
Of course, by all means, feel free.
The sudden growling of Celia's stomach, like, 12 hours gone by, hasn't eaten.
Oh, that is a blueberry muffin!
Good evening.
Oh,
I might throw up, I'm so hungry.
A couple of first of all, Wano, for your roleplay with Johnny, I'm going to give you a hero point for all that. That was very cool.
Yay!
And Celia, I'm going to give you a hero point for that as well. I like that you immediately, the pit and this map, let's go take it immediately, Roderick. That was, bam, thumbs up. Well done. Good thinking. I like where your head's at. That's a hero point.
Can we keep those for next time?
Oh shit, it is mine.
Awkward.
I will absolutely let Wano keep that third hero point for next time, because that was a very cool moment, I thought. And it was something that even I'd been looking forward to. I wanted to see what you wanted to speak to Adroni about. And you got some cool information about what happened after the Rimwords. With that in mind,
Lord dropped some backstory too.
Yeah, Lord dropped some backstory. As far as the rest of the party, Celia will catch up with you eventually for the rest of the day. What was everybody else doing? Cinder, what were you doing specifically?
Well, with I'm probably going to actually head towards the shop, because if we're going to go head out, I want to see if I can get some potions or something.
Okay, a little bit of shopping, and how about you, Beltran?
Beltran had a bit of a hard time with that from the previous night, and he headed off towards the local monastery to calm his thoughts, so to speak.
Okay.
You're a little distant, by the way.
Is that better?
It is.
Much.
Okay. It was underneath my chin instead of in front of my face. But he has not really meditated in the better part of a decade, and this experience kind of brought a lot of old feelings, and he just needed to. I mean, his inner struggle kind of hit him harder, and he needed to kind of bring himself back to his. Bring him back, I guess, if anything, to where he is not. Because his anger was raging at many points during that.
Okay. So you're gonna visit the House of Bluestones to like relax, meditate a little bit.
Yep. At least for a good few hours, if anything. So.
The proprietor and owner, Jabal Sorn, shown here, will happily greet you, finding out that you're there simply to just, do your monk thing, to just clear your mind, to think and meditate. She's happy to welcome you in. There's plenty of space for you to find somewhere to sit and meditate by all means.
He'll just kind of he kind of tries to not be like somewhere where he can easily be seen, I guess.
Okay.
Just kind of he's not one to usually be seen unless he needs to be seen, I guess. The kind of the mantra of kind of a bouncer, if anything.
Only that when needed, otherwise very obnoxious and very in the background. Very cool. Okay. So then, for Guano and Naya, while Celian's out doing some research and stuff, what were you two up to during the day? After, I guess we'll start with Naya, since like a little bit of Guano's morning was occupied. So Naya, what has Naya been up to?
Well, Naya will have been around just performing and singing, specifically singing songs about forgiveness and healing and letting past wrongs go, to just sort of spread the result of last night's
just put that vibe out in the world, just like everybody just
we're
gonna keep
especially spread it to the town, because
do you want to do it as like an earned income for the day? Just try to play some songs, get some money for it?
I mean, it's not about getting a little bit of money, yeah, but mostly it's about spreading the mind. So whatever she gets, it's about doing its best of performance for the town as she can.
Absolutely. Go ahead and do an earned income with performance for a day and make it level 2. So you're not really like, you're not trying hard. It's kind of a fairly simple task. Just put some good vibes out in the world.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, go ahead and do that. If you need the earned income, no, earned income does not have to be blind. No. You know, because of how well you get paid, how well you did.
Can I reroll that?
Absolutely. So if you want to use a hero point to reroll it, just redo the macro, since it's like selecting point doesn't update how much you earned.
Let's hope this will be better. Come on.
I mean, it is a little bit better. It's basically the same. You get 4 copper for your efforts for the day. So people heard you, dug it, gave you a little bit of coin.
Hold on. I think I can turn this into into success if I use the little accompaniment first.
What are you using? Go ahead and link it and take a look.
I should have kept that first, honestly. It's just enough to push it into success, I think.
That is enough to make that instead of a failure, a success.
Sorry, I just really want to at least do a good job for the town, you know.
And you're trained in it, right?
Yeah.
So that'll instead be 3 silver that you'll earn for the day.
Oh, good.
So you got a few silver for your efforts. People seem to be, cool with the vibe. Nobody's like kicking you running out of town or anything. And then Guano, after you got done with your conversation in the morning, what were you up to the rest of the day?
Oh, not much. I think one thing I'll do is go outside, browse around for a bit to get some more lychee bark for Cillian. So if we can't on the road, you can have his little soporific brew.
Okay. I dig it. Cool. So I think we'll end tonight with a gathered information from Guano and from Cinder. Just as you run into people, talk to them around town, things you might hear, anything you might think to ask about them. We'll look at this, gather information check, see what information we get, and we'll get set up for next time.
Watch my incredible -1 roll.
That was a critical failure on your part, Cinder. If you want to re-roll it, you may.
Can you use
Well,
society? No, wait, that's something I have.
Yeah, might as well. We're at the end of the session.
Right, what else are you gonna do? Okay. Other than knowing about the rough location of the pit, for instance, neither one of you really hear anything interesting throughout the day. The pit, as far as you know, is southeast-ish of town, out in the more hinterlands area around Sandpoint. And it's just, as far as you're able to gather, it's like a mysterious open shaft filled with like mist and clouds at times that seem to like obscure how deep it actually is. It is in the heart of a rocky area known as the Devil's Platter. It's about 2 miles southeast of Sandpoint.
Question.
Yeah, what's up?
Cillian has Streetwise.
Mm-hmm.
And a function of that is that I can use recall knowledge with society to know the same sort of information I could go to diplomacy to gather information without spending the time gathering it.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I spent time today doing other shit, since I don't have to spend time gathering it, would I be able to use Streetwise to do a
Absolutely.
information check?
If you want to do a gather information, I wonder if the automation picks up. Try to see if you can do a gather information and gives you an option to do it with diplomacy or society. If it doesn't, then just do like a straight up society check off of your character sheet. Sick! That did it with society. I love that it knew it gotta make it work. What a cool fucking Scott Anyway, sorry. Alright. It doesn't take you any time. You're streetwise. Cillian knows how to keep their ears peeled while doing whatever. You're working with Broderick. You're heading back to the Rusty Dragon. While you're doing that, you're listening for anything useful. Anything that might be worth knowing. So, you happen to overhear a little bit about the pit. Again, where it is for sure. There's several routes that can get there. You're not sure which one might be the safest or most direct or the easiest. That Devil's Platter has like a rough but climbable section, like how to get up to it. So you just have to find that, and it'll be easy to get up to it. And the pit itself, once you start to climb, it's about a half-mile north of where you start that climb, where the easy part is. About a half-mile north of that is where the actual entrance to the pit will be.
Is the pit quite literal? Is it a big open crater like a quarry, or is it a cave system?
It is more just like a big open, like the pit is a very literal name. It looks like a big open pit in the rocks that goes down. And again, sometimes have like fog, mist, clouds, something that obscures just how deep it might actually be, how many layers there might actually be to it, because it's known to be a layered hole. Like every so often there will be a this is a level where people can move around and explore and investigate, and then there's another floor below it, another floor below it.
Creepy.
So you know at the very least that you could, in theory, just walk all the way to the bottom of it. But you never know what you might run into along the way, because obviously the obscuring mists.
Anything about the crazy mysteries that lie within? I heard there was a Sasquatch.
Several people are convinced that the Sandpoint Devil lives at the very bottom of the pit. And the Sandpoint Devil is kind of like a local folk legend sort of thing. It is in fact 100% based on the real world myths of the Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
So if you're at all familiar with that, it's the same kind of vibe.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Is this Sandpoint Devil as foreboding as it sounds?
The person you stop and ask just gives you this very like that's a silly question to ask. Of course it is. Sandpoint Devil is one of the most burdensome, evil creatures ever.
My goodness, how frightful. It's almost enough to run down the tide. Almost. Do you know if there's a good cafe nearby? Anything better than the Rusty Dragon? I mean, they have wonderful fare, but I'm just curious.
They frown for a moment before shaking their head. Rusty Dragon's easily the best food you're gonna get in this town.
Oh, good. I can be assured that that it always sounds and hearty. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Sorry to bother you. Good evening.
You just kind of give that grumble as tourists.
Fucking Parisians.
That exact energy, yeah. Alright, cool. So that's where we're gonna call it for today.
Yeah.
There's a devil in the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That went pretty well.
Yeah. I will 100% say, like, your rolls for influence this time were much better than they were the first night.
Yeah. I could tell.
Thankfully.
Yay.
Yeah. I was just worried the first night. I was like, oh. But I was sick. Well done. I hope you all had some fun. Thank you very much for playing. I do believe we'll be back next week for more.
I will. I will jokingly say I'm sort of sad we didn't get to the last round. I had an idea I was going to do, but hey, we managed to get it, so hey. It's like Cinder just doing the whole, okay, I've had enough of this shit. Intimidation. Either listen to us or let me kick your ass, essentially. But
I think next time my boyfriend might be back home, so he'll be around.
And by the way, that was a nat 20 on that society gather information.
Yay! So I got cool
Bam.
things about
Yep.
Nice.
I learned things.
nice, very good.
Two very useful not 20s in this question.
Yeah, that was how like they both came down to nat 20s being like clutch. I was like, shit, fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, I learned a lot more from just being
Just listening,
from hanging out with the scholar. Wow. Yeah, okay. Local legend. Will do you right. Scuttlebutt. Okay, where did you send it? I was going to Politics Live. Oh. Right. That's me.
I don't suppose we level test yet.
Yeah,
What
Lemon.
is the party's next goal after this?
Well, I will note that
60.
Cinder's going to be trying to convince them to go take a look at the underground again, just to make sure we did clear that out. Because we were the rumor she heard about the scratching underneath it, and B, Bill, when bringing it up to the father, the priest, he did ask us to go take one last double check on there. And with Cinder's background, it's like, I want to make sure this is clear.
Honestly, if this is maybe an hour, we can go check real quick.
I was gonna say, unless we missed the whole section for some reason, it's not gonna take too long. So maybe we just give the ruins a once over and then we head to the pit.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Let's do a little come through.
Yeah. Just one last double check.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Then also, in the week of time between here and there, make sure you level your character up to 5.
Yay!
Yay! I could.
Will do.
I guess that means I get to decide whether I want wings or to breathe fire. Probably fire.
Now is the time to decide.
All right, I'm going to send you all to Amanda Dupree, who is doing a Sailor Moon retrospective, apparently. So that's going to be fun. Yeah, happy Lesbian Pride, everyone. So I'm going to need my non-binary lesbian friend to go talk about Sailor Moon. Yeah, awesome. And we'll see you next week. This weekend I think I'm going to be a bit busy. I'm going to be welcoming my boyfriend home from Korea. So I think probably no Storm Riders, no Level Heads, but we'll see if I should be available for more of this. So I'll see you all next time. Till then, stay easy.
Give him an extra hug.
Yeah, take the time to enjoy your boyfriend.
For those in my chat, I am going to be sending you all over to Volpixie, who is currently doing a game I don't know called Peak. Looks to be one of those getting over it style games, so but anyways. Oh, what the pearl?
Level 5 should be for everyone at least. At the very least, you should get an ancestry feat. You should get your ability boost. This is your first chance to up some of your ability scores. And you should get a skill training. So that means you either pick up train in something new, or increase something.
Okay, winner pick, because apparently I can't raid Volpixie.
Yep, and I get the. I'm increasing my gate threshold, so I get to open up the wood element and fresh produce.
And I get a third level shocking grasp.
I think I get surprisingly remarkably little, but look.
You should get third level spells, I think, at least.
Yeah, sorry, I was dealing with something on my end. So ancestry feat, skill feat, what else?
Ancestry feat, a skill training, meaning you take a skill either that you are not trained in and become trained, or take a trained skill expert. Those are the two things that every class should get. You may get more for your class, but you should get at the very